Should BLACKPINK come back? It's no secret that I've been critical of BLACKPINK in the past, but at the end of the day, most of those criticisms fall on YG and the way they handled their career. I don't intend for this video to be a critique of them as a group or as soloists. Kind of. And I also don't want it to be confused as a hate video. I know how blinks are. My only intention is to pose the question, should they come back? Now that that's out of the way, I know covering BLACKPINK is a risky move. I mean, I'm not trying to get doxxed. Jokes aside, it's undeniable the impact and popularity these four girls hold as a unit. BLACKPINK is one of the biggest girl groups in the world. Regardless of my personal opinion, I can't take that away from them. But their career, again in my opinion, left a lot to be desired. Most times when we talk about popular acts, a big part of the conversation is about how overworked they are. I mean, look at Twice in their early years. My girls were working. But in the case of BLACKPINK, one of the biggest criticisms I've seen is how they're underworked. But what do people mean by that? I want this video to be a little bit more on the shorter end, so I won't come in here with too many numbers and stats. But it's an undeniable fact that BLACKPINK's discography is tiny. Like, super tiny. It's like 32 songs, without counting what they're supposed to put out this year. Some groups put that out in a year. Comparing them to their contemporaries, it's even clearer. Red Velvet, the middle of the third gen trilogy in terms of discography length, has released 145 songs, with hopefully more in the future, but if you want my thoughts on that, click the iCard for my future Red Velvet video. Twice, on the other hand, have released a whopping 232 songs, plus more since their fourth studio album just got announced. Okay, but we'll talk about that in my next commentary video. Anyways, so needless to say, comparatively speaking, they weren't quote-unquote as worked. They obviously had other activities such as modeling, brand endorsements, commercials, etc. However, this didn't stop them from becoming huge. Some people argue that false scarcity tactic YG used worked in their favor. I disagree, but that could be another video in the future. But the fact of the matter is, they've sold millions of copies in Korea and the rest of the world, cementing their legacy as one of the biggest girl groups of all time. After praising them and pointing out their rather small discography, how could them coming back and releasing more music be a bad thing? Or why would I even pose the question, should they come back? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se, it's just a question, but let's actually talk about it a little bit. To get my short answer out of the way, no, I don't think they should come back. At least, not this year. Let me explain. My bias aside, I feel like BLACKPINK as a brand per se would hold more quote-unquote value as it is now versus if they were to release new music. This is obviously my opinion, but releasing new music always opens up the opportunity to flop. Do I think Blinks would let that happen? No. Do I think they should let this theoretical fear of flopping get in the way of them releasing? Also no. That's why I said not yet. To me, it would be much more impactful if they came back and toured next year for their 10th anniversary. Cause, to me at least, it seems like YG sort of scrambled together a plan to make them come back and tour this year to capitalize off the success of their solo projects. And while that may be true, to me it sort of cheapens it. I also don't hold their music to a high regard, so the bar for me is in hell. This being below it is concerning. In an ideal world, my timeline would have been something like this. Rosie released in December 2024, maybe even November, but still keeping Apat's domination cause I don't think there's a world where that doesn't happen. Then, Jisoo's Amortage releases on Valentine's of 2025, but make it a studio album. I'm thinking at least 10 to 12 songs. 14 if you want to be on the nose with the Valentine's Day theming. Then, there would be a gap with Jennie releasing next, but around late April or May so that we could have Like Jennie as a summer anthem. And lastly, Lisa would drop Alter Ego, releasing sometime around late August or September, with maybe Lifestyle or an equivalent song as a pre-release around late July, early August to keep the summer vibes going. I put her last so that she could have time to actually develop the concept of alter ego. I'll probably talk about this in yet another video. With this hypothetical timeline, each girl gets a season/time to shine, without stepping on each other's toes. They'd also get breathing room to do a variety of schedules and activities in Korea and around the world. But most importantly, they'd have this year to sort of establish and solidify their individual brands and show the public what each one individually brings to the table. Then, they'd have the end of the year and the beginning of 2026 to plan, schedule, prepare, and rehearse for an anniversary album and tour. This album could be their biggest to date, therefore benefiting from this false scarcity method. They would have been gone for a few years and come back strong for their 10th anniversary, now with experience as solo artist and also polished skills. And I want to emphasize that last part. I really hope that they're able to grow as performers to reach a consistent level. Hypotheticals aside, I do believe they need some work in that department, because when I saw them on tour, the only one who was out here doing it like she should have was Lisa, but that's only because she was dancing her heart out and dancing around her lines. Again, I don't want this to be a dig at them, but now that they've had the time to stand on stage by themselves and carry a whole body of work, I think that experience is very valuable when coming together as a group so that they can all emphasize their best qualities individually while also strengthening their coverage of each other's weaknesses. Returning to my hypothetical scenario, I think this album could be a celebration of who they are as individuals and as a unit. You could have some songs on the album that take on each one of their individual styles. That way we could have a sort of group version of their solo genres. Then, we could also have some songs that encompass the sound that they're known for and the sound that makes them work. But would this actually happen? Probably not. To me, what's likely to happen is a rushed, half-assed mini, maybe a studio album if we're lucky, with a title track that follows Teddy's formula and a tour with not much support and lots of chaos. I obviously hope I'm wrong since I actually do like the group and some of their songs, but I can't help but be a little pessimistic since I've literally seen them live and that left a lot to be desired. Wrapping things up a little bit, I think releasing music and touring this year could harm them if we were to assume my predictions to be correct. Cause having a bad half-assed album and title track won't cause casual fans to listen to it continuously. They might check it out because, obviously, it's BLACKPINK. But that newness or novelty, to me at least, has worn off. If it's bad, I'm not gonna want to check it out. I mean, I will, that's what I do, but still. If they were to have time to really polish their individual skills and create strong brands, I feel like them coming together to release an album would be amazing. They'd truly be unstoppable and at the top of the world. But given how they are now, controversies and all, I don't know if this is such a good idea. I obviously don't want to take away excitement from Blinks, because your old group releasing something is going to be exciting. But when you're as big as BLACKPINK, you're sort of in a weird spot because you might want to release something that caters specifically to your fans, but you also have to keep in mind that the general public's eyes will always be on you. At least, you want them to be. And if what you deliver is subpar, that can have consequences in the long run. So, in conclusion, I think they should hold off a bit before coming back to truly make it worth it. An anniversary tour would have much more impact than something that seems last minute. Plus, if you make this album a banger, people will have no choice but to support. But regardless, whether you're a Blink that's waiting with bated breath for their next announcement, or you're a casual fan that'll check out what they release, hell, even if you're a hater preying on their downfall, one thing's for sure. Pretty soon, BLACKPINK will be in our area. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This one was a bit more opinion based, so let me know what you think about that. I've been working really hard to get these commentary videos out for y'all, so I hope you've been enjoying them so far. I also wanted to let you know that I'm currently working on 2 videos. One that I think you'll like, the Twice video that I mentioned previously. I'm still working on the script for that one and it's taking a little bit longer than anticipated, so strap in because that one's gonna be long. And the other video is mostly for me. It's a 10-year YouTube anniversary special, because as of recording this, today, May 19th, 2025, marks 10 years since I posted my first video ever. So if seeing sort of my journey through YouTube is something that seems interesting to you, please consider sticking around and subscribing for when that's released. But with that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a video. Tell me in the comments down below, what are your opinions regarding their comeback, and do you think they should come back? Remember that I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!